In this video, I'm going to share everything you need to know about tax declaration in Germany. I'll talk about who has to submit a tax return in Germany, when do you have to submit a Steuererklärung, how to file taxes in Germany, how to maximize the tax refund, and at the end, I'll also give some examples to find out how much tax refund you can expect if you submit a tax declaration in Germany. Hey friends, if you're new here, my name is Ahsan, and on this channel we discuss business, investing, and personal finance in Germany. To figure out if you have to submit a tax return or not, we first need to look at your tax class. There are 6 tax classes in Germany, and each tax class is given based on a certain criteria. Here is how the 6 tax classes in Germany are distributed. You can also find which tax class you have from your salary slip. So if you have tax class 1, or in case of married couples have tax class combination 4-4, you are not obliged to submit a tax return. However, if you have received wage replacement benefits, then you would be obliged to submit a tax return. If you have any other tax class, then you are also obliged to submit a tax return. When exactly do you have to submit your tax declaration? For all mandatory filers, the deadline is generally the 31st of July of the following year. However, there are cases where you can get an extension, as I will discuss later on in the video. That said, here are some of the most important deadlines. Things may change when you watch this video, that's why you can head over to the written article on my website to get the latest information on the deadlines. If you are not obliged to submit a tax return, then you have an option to file for up to 4 years in the past, meaning that in 2024 you can submit a tax return for 2023, 2022, 2021 and 2020. Here I need to put an emphasis that if you are obliged to submit a tax declaration and somehow you do not submit it, then there will be a fine. The late fee is generally 0.25% of the assessed tax, but at least 25 euros minimum each month that you are late. A maximum of 25,000 euros fine can be given to you if you do not submit a mandatory tax declaration, so please be careful. What documents are required for a tax declaration in Germany? If you ever had a job in Germany, either as a student or as an employee, your employer must issue you the annual wage and tax statement, Lohnsteuerbescheinigung. You usually get this document along with your January payslip or when you leave the job. Some companies may send this document at a later time, but never later than January of the following year. The Lohnsteuerbescheinigung contains all of the necessary information that you will need to file a tax declaration. If you had multiple jobs, then you would have more than one statement. You can even get multiple statements from a single employer based on changes in certain elements of your job. This document has information on your tax class, how much did you earn, how much taxes did you pay, your social contributions, and other important details. Each item is numbered and matches the fields in Elster, as you will see later on in the video. Now, if by chance you did not get this document or you lost it, then you can try to contact your previous employer directly and ask for it. They should have it on record because they need to keep all of these documents for up to 10 years for all of their employees. If due to any reason you do not want to contact your employer, you can also directly contact your relevant finance arm and ask for your document, because your employer should submit all of your documents to the finance arm. Please hit the like button if you're getting value from this video and consider subscribing. Before I share ways to declare taxes in Germany, I want to discuss 2 misconceptions. Number 1, social contributions and income tax are totally separate. By social contributions, I mean your health insurance, pension insurance, and your long-term care insurance. So filing a tax return can reduce your tax burden and give you a refund from your income tax, but not from your social contribution. Number 2, once you submit a tax return, you do not become automatically obliged to submit it every year. I believe this too as a student, but this is not factual. There are many other factors that make you obliged, like your tax class changing to tax class number 2, 3, 5 or 6, or you getting wage replacement benefits. But simply filing a tax return will not make you obliged to submit it the following year. What exactly is a tax return? Most people have a totally incorrect idea of what a tax refund means. So let me tell you exactly how the tax declaration works and what a tax refund is. If your income in Germany exceeds the basic tax-free allowance, Grundfreibetrag, you are required to pay income tax, Einkommensteuer. Be it a student job or a non-student job, you pay income tax on the exceeding salary based on your tax class and certain other parameters. The tax-free allowance limit varies each year, and this is the tax-free amount for each and every employee in Germany. Only the income above this limit is taxed. Germany also has a progressive income tax level. This means that you will be taxed between 14 to 42%, and the tax rate is progressively increasing after a specific threshold. Now, all of these tax calculations are done automatically before you get your salary. Here you can get get the opportunity to declare your taxes, where you can provide relevant expenses to reduce your tax burden. These expenses can include work and study related costs like traveling costs, relocation costs, education fee, and many others. You can download my free guide where I discuss these in detail. I'll put a download link below the like button. Based on the information you provide in your tax declaration, the tax office can see whether you have already paid the necessary or even too much tax for the corresponding year. Depending on the situation, you will either receive a request for additional payment from the tax office, or in the more likely case, you will benefit from a refund of the overpaid taxes. Here's an example. If your yearly salary before taxes and contributions was 50,000 euros, in tax class 1, your yearly income tax would be 7,100 euro. This amount will be automatically cut from your salary throughout the year. To reduce your tax burden, you file a tax declaration in Germany. In the tax return, you show 5,000 euros worth of work or study related expenses. Now the finance office will recalculate your income tax. Here the tax office will calculate your salary as 50,000 minus the 5,000 euros expenses and issue your income tax on the 45,000 euros, which will turn out to be 5,919 euro, meaning that your tax refund would be 1,200 euros and not the 5,000 euro expenses that you showed in your tax declaration. Now obviously this is an oversimplified example and there are certain other parameters, but hopefully now you understand what a tax refund actually means. How to submit a tax declaration? There are many options that you can use to file a tax return in Germany. The most common being physical submission in person. For that, you can go to the nearest finance arm, get the tax forms and fill them out. You can submit the tax return forms there directly. However, there are many cases where only digital submissions are accepted. With digital submissions, you have both free and paid options. On top of the free options is Elster. This is a platform from the German government where you can file your tax return for free. It is the most comprehensive tax return software that you will find, and it has all of the options one would need in every single scenario. It is, however, only available in German language, which can be difficult for expats. For most people who want to submit a tax return in Germany for free using the Elster platform, they have to fill out 3 forms in Elster: the main income tax declaration form, income as an employee, and health and pension insurance. If you have capital gains tax, then you will also have to fill out Anlage KAP, and for crypto, you would also have to fill out Anlage SO. I have a detailed video on how to use Elster here. Then we have paid software like Wundertax and SmartSteuer. These web apps are designed to make your tax declaration process very simple, as they have stripped down features compared to Elster. This not only makes the tax declaration process easier, it also makes it less time consuming. I have detailed tutorials on many of them which you can watch here. If your case is complicated or you simply do not want to do your own taxes, you can also get professional help from a tax consultant or a tax lawyer. The cost of professional help depends on multiple factors like the complexity of the case and your salary. The most cost-efficient way would be to Google VLH plus your city name to get help from the Lohnsteuerhilfeverein. Their fee depends on your salary, however their fee starts from just 52 euro. Getting professional help may also be necessary if you have missed the deadline of an obligatory tax declaration in Germany. You can use tax consultants to file your taxes, which increases the deadline for tax submission by about 6 months. How much refund can you expect when you file a tax return in Germany? On average, a person that submits a tax declaration in Germany gets 1,092 euro as a tax refund. But you can drastically increase this refund if you provide work or study related expenses in your tax declaration. If you are an employee, the eligible expenses would include anything that is related to your work, so traveling to and from your work, anything you bought that helps you out in your work, for example a mobile phone that you use for work, a laptop, any other equipment like printers, papers, and much more. And if you are a student, you can put in anything that is related to your studies. For example, all of your education fee, which would include registration fee, your tuition fee, anything that helps you out in your education. For example, a mobile phone, laptop, printing out your thesis, and many more. I have detailed videos for students and employees which you can watch here. As I mentioned earlier, if you are not obliged to submit a tax return, the deadlines do not apply to you, and you can declare taxes in Germany for up to 4 years in the past. That said, you cannot file a tax declaration for a period older than 4 years. Here you might say, Ahsan, I haven't paid much taxes, then why should I file a tax return in Germany? To that, my answer would be tax loss carry forward. This is a certificate that the finance office in Germany issues if your income was too less to pay income tax, but you still have eligible expenses. For example, in a year, you only earned 5,000 euros and did not pay any income tax, but you had travel costs to and from work, bought work clothes or other equipment for your work or study related costs. If you file a tax return in that case, the tax office will consider all of the expenses and give you a tax loss carry forward certificate, which you can add in the next year's tax declaration to reduce the tax burden. If you don't pay any taxes in the next year, you can even declare the expenses for that year along with the tax loss certificate from the previous year. The tax office will issue you a new tax loss certificate which will include the previous certificate plus the expenses from the next year. You can carry forward a tax loss certificate for up to 7 years, which is absolutely brilliant if you are a student. When can you expect a refund? The tax office can take between 2 weeks to 8 months in order to process your file, depending on when you declare your tax return in Germany and the complexity of your case. If they have any questions or objections, they will send you a letter with the details. And once your case has been processed, you will get a tax assessment. This document will have the details of the accepted expenses and many other important details. One of the biggest expenses that you can put in your tax declaration in Germany is the remittance sent to parents and family members overseas from Germany. This expense can increase your tax refund many folds, as I have discussed in this video. So thanks for watching, bleibt gesund, and I'll see you in this video.